Roommates and Red Stringy never believed in fate or destiny or any of that fairy tale crap. But the first time I laid eyes on Kai, standing in the doorway of our tiny dorm room, I felt something shift inside me. He was beautiful. Sharp jawline, smooth golden skin, eyes like dark honey catching the afternoon light. His black hair was a little messy, like he'd just woken up, and he smelled faintly of vanilla and rain. Guess we're roommates, he said, flashing a small, nervous smile, and just like that, my world tilted. At first, I tried to ignore it. We were just two guys sharing a space, right? He had his life, I had mine. But the more I watched him, the way he absent-mindedly bit his lip when studying, the way his laughter was soft but deep, the way his t-shirts clung to his lean, toned body, I knew I was screwed. We became friends fast. Late night talks about everything and nothing, shared playlists, ordering takeout and watching trashy TV while lying on opposite ends of his bed. It was easy, too easy, until the night it wasn't. It started with a storm. Thunder rattled the windows, and Kai, who hated storms, climbed into my bed without a word. I should have said something, but I didn't. I just let him tuck himself against my side, his body warm, his breath uneven. I wanted to kiss him badly, but I couldn't. I wouldn't. Then he whispered, I know. I stiffened. Know what? He pulled back just enough to meet my eyes. That you like me? That you've been holding back? You don't have to. My pulse hammered, Kai, and then he kissed me. His lips were soft, hesitant at first, testing, tasting, but when I kissed him back, when my hands found his waist and his fingers curled into my hair, everything turned electric. The storm outside was nothing compared to the one inside me. We didn't stop that night, and we didn't stop after that. Kai was fire and silk, teasing and tender. He kissed like he wanted to consume me, touched me like he was memorizing every inch of my skin. I let him. I wanted him. Every whispered moan, every gasp, every tangled sheet was proof that this, whatever this was real, but real didn't mean easy. We kept it quiet, not because we were ashamed, but because we were scared. What if it ruined our friendship? What if we weren't as invincible as we felt under the cover of darkness? One night, I caught him staring at me after we'd spent hours tangled together, skin to skin, breathless and exhausted. What? I asked, grinning. His fingers traced my jaw, his voice barely a whisper. I think I love you. My chest clenched. I knew I loved him too. I had for a while, but saying it out loud meant something irreversible. So I said it anyway. The world didn't end. The sky didn't fall. Instead, Kai pulled me close, and for the first time in my life, I believed in fate. Because if fate existed, it had to be the reason I ended up in a tiny dorm room, falling in love with my beautiful, infuriating, perfect roommate. Days passed, and we found a rhythm, one where stolen touches and secret smiles became the foundation of something unshakable. But as the semester wore on, reality crept in. One evening, Kai sat on his bed, scrolling through his phone, lips pressed into a tight line. My parents are coming next weekend, he murmured. They don't know. I exhaled slowly, nodding. Do you want them to? He hesitated. I don't know. I reached for his hand, threading my fingers through his. We don't have to rush this. We have time. He gave me a small, grateful smile and squeezed my hand. Yeah, time. But time wasn't always kind. The night his parents arrived, I stayed out, giving him space. When I came back, he was sitting on his bed, shoulders tense, eyes red-rimmed. They asked if I had a girlfriend, he said, voice hollow. I lied. Something inside me cracked. Kai, I'm sorry, he whispered. I panicked. I swallowed the lump in my throat, nodding. It's okay, but it wasn't, not really. For days, something hung between us, fear, guilt, uncertainty. Then one night, he turned to me in the dark and said, I don't want to hide from you, just give me time. And I did, because love, real love, wasn't about rushing. It was about trust. And I trusted him with everything, even my heart. Weeks turned into months, and Kai grew bolder. He held my hand when we walked through campus. He kissed me quick and fleeting when he thought no one was looking. And then one night he pulled me into his arms and whispered, "I'm ready." The next morning he posted a picture of us tangled in each other's arms on his Instagram with the caption, "Not hiding anymore." And for the first time, we were truly free. We spent that summer in love, wrapped up in each other, exploring the city hand in hand. Movie nights turned into morning cuddles, and kisses turned into promises. Kai slowly introduced me to his world, his closest friends, and even his sister, who only smirked and said, "Took you long enough." His parents, though they were the last bridge to cross, one evening, as we lay on his bed, his fingers tracing idle patterns on my arm, he said, "I want to tell them." I sat up, searching his face. "Are you sure?" He nodded. "I can't keep hiding the best thing that's ever happened to me." A week later, he told them it wasn't perfect. His father was quiet, his mother cried, but they didn't shut him out. They didn't turn him away. And when he came back to our dorm that night, he crawled into my lap and whispered, "I can breathe now." And just like that, we were no longer just a secret love story in a dorm room. We were real, and we had a future. Years later, when we had our own apartment, our own lives intertwined in ways deeper than we could have imagined, I found an old Polaroid of us, arms slung around each other, young, reckless, and wild with love. I showed it to Kai, and he laughed, pressing a kiss to my temple. "We've come a long way," he murmured, and as I pulled him into my arms, I realized maybe fate wasn't a fairy tale after all.